What we're talking about, of course, is book promotion. We all know it's a heck of an accomplishment to have a book published in the first place. That was the case 100 years ago, and it was the case 50 years ago. It was the case 20 years ago, and it is certainly the case today. If you're listening to me now, perhaps you're in the exhilarating position to have had a book published yourself, in which case I congratulate and commend you. And if you're in that fortunate spot, you may be saying to yourself, IJ, I'm pleased as punch that a book exists with my name on the cover, but I feel totally lost and overwhelmed when it comes to trying to get other people to notice it. I understand. There are a lot of writers out there who have published a number of books who still feel like they're swimming upstream when it comes to marketing and visibility. Never mind the writer holding her first book in her hands and thinking about how to get it known and noticed. So there are a variety of factors that contribute to this highly complex and competitive arena today. Probably the three biggest factors are sheer volume of books, changes in reading habits, and of course shrinking publishing budgets. Let's look at that a bit more specifically. What I mean is that, one, there are more books than ever before, as well as more ways for people to publicize them, and therefore more of them to compete for attention with. Two, people are accessing and reading books in more assorted ways than ever before, making the marketing of them a much more complicated and thorny challenge for both author and publisher. And then three is the simplest and cruelest one, which is that publishers' promotional budgets are by and large smaller than they've been at any other point, putting much more of the onus than ever on authors themselves to promote their own work. So that makes for a bit of a Wild West situation in the promotional landscape right now. Publishers themselves are in the midst of trying to figure out the most effective ways to showcase books as the environment continues to change constantly. And even the biggest houses are still pretty much shooting in the dark when it comes to trying to figure out this formula. Or, as a famous ad man once said, I know half of my advertising budget is useless. I just don't know which half. So if even the biggest players who have been around for decades are scratching their heads trying to figure out this new world, you yourself can hardly be expected to be able to rub a crystal ball and know exactly what to do to make your book stand out from all the others that are out there. I want to try to keep things as simple as possible for you. I want to try to help you break through the noise, by which I mean the competition, by looking at some specific principles, channels, and techniques that might allow you to promote your book with the greatest possible oomph, and ideally make it noticed by the greatest number of potential readers, and more critically, buyers. There are 10 things I'd like to talk about, so let's get started.